Choice controls. The choice class is used to create a pop-up list of items from which the user may choose. Thus, a choice control is a form of menu when interactive a choice component takes place only enough space to show the currently selected item. When the user clicks on it, the whole list of choices pops up and a new selection can be made. Each item in the list is a string that appears as a left justified label in the order it is added to the choice object. Choice only defines the default constructor which creates an empty list. To add a selection to the list, call add method. It has this general form: void add string name. Here name is the name of the item being added. Items are added to the list in the order in which calls to add method occur. To determine which item is currently selected, you may call either getSelectedItem or getSelectedIndex. These methods are shown here: string getSelectedItem, int getSelectedIndex. The getSelectedItem method returns a string containing the name of the item. GetSelectedIndex returns the index of the item. The first item is at index 0 by default. The first item added to this list is selected. To obtain the number of items in this list, call getItemCount method. You can set the currently selected item using the select method with either a 0-based integer index or a string that will match a new name in the list. These methods are shown here: int getItemCount, void select int index, void select string name. Given an index, you can obtain the name associated with the item at that index by calling getItem method, which has the general form string getItem int index. Here index specifies the index of the desired item. Handling choice lists. Each time a choice is selected, an item event is generated. This is sent to any listeners that previously registered an interest in receiving item event notification from that component. Each listener implements the item listener interface. That interface defines the item state changed method. An item event object is supplied as the argument to the method. Here is an example that creates two choice menus. One selects the operating system, the other selects the browser. Using lists. The list class provides a compact multiple choice scrolling selection list. Unlike the choice object, which shows only the single selected item in the menu, a list object can be constructed to show any number of choices in the visible window. It can also be created to allow multiple selections. List provides these constructors: list throws headless exception, list int number rows throws headless exception, list int num rows boolean multiple select throws headless exception. The first version creates a list control that allows only one item to be selected at any one time. In the second form, the value of num rows specifies the number of entries in the list that will always be visible. Others can be scrolled into view as needed. In the third form, if multiple select is true, then the user may select two or more items at a time. If it is false, then only one item may be selected. To add a selection to the list, call add method. It has the following two forms: void add string name, void add string name int index. Here name is the name of the item added to the list. The first form adds item to the end of the list. The second form adds the item at the index specified by the index. Indexing begins at 0. You can specify -1 to add the item to the end of the list. For lists that allow only single selection, you can determine which item is currently selected by calling either getSelectedItem method or getSelectedIndex. These methods are shown here. String getSelectedItem, int getSelectedIndex. The getSelectedItem method returns a string containing the name of the item if more than one item is selected, or if no selection has yet been made, null is returned. GetSelectedIndex returns the index of the item. The first item is at index 0 if more than one item is selected, or if no selection has yet been made, only -1 is returned. For lists that allow multiple selection, you must use either getSelectedItem method or getSelectedIndexes shown here to determine the current selections. String getSelectedItem, int getSelectedIndexes. GetSelectedItems returns an array containing the name of the currently selected items. GetSelectedIndexes returns an array containing the indexes of the currently selected items. To obtain the number of items in the list, call getItemCount. You can set the currently selected item by using the select method with a 0-based integer index. These methods are shown here. Int getItemCount, void select int index. Given an index, you can obtain the same associated with the item at that index by calling getItem, which has this general form. String getItem int index. Here index specifies the index of the desired item. Handling lists. To process list events, you will need to implement the action listener interface. Each time a list item is double clicked, an action event object is generated. Its getAction command method can be used to retrieve the name of the newly selected item. Also, each time an item is selected or deselected with a single click, an item event object is generated. Its getStateChange method can be used to determine whether a selection or deselection triggered this event. GetItemSelectable returns a reference to the object that triggered this event. Here is an example that converts the choice controls in the preceding section into list components, one multiple choice and the other single choice. Managing scroll bars. Scroll bars are used to select continuous values between the specified minimum and maximum. Scroll bars may be oriented horizontally or vertically. A scroll bar is actually a composite of several individual parts. Each end has an arrow that you can click to move the current value of the scroll bar 1 unit in the direction of the arrow. The current value of the scroll bar related to its minimum and maximum values. It indicates by the slider box for the scroll bar. The slider box can be dragged by the user to a new position. The scroll bar will then reflect this value in the background space on either side of the thumb. The user can click the cause the thumb to jump in that direction by some increment larger than 1. Typically, this action translates into some form of the page up and page down. Scroll bars are encapsulated by the scroll bar class. Scroll bar defines the following constructors: scroll bar throws headless exception, scroll bar int style throws headless exception, scroll bar int style, int initial value, int thumb size, int min, int x throws headless exception. The first form creates a vertical scroll bar. The second and third form allow you to specify the orientation of the scroll bar. If style is scroll bar vertical, a vertical scroll bar is created. If style is scroll bar horizontal, the scroll bar is horizontal. In the third form of the constructor, the initial value of the scroll bar is passed in initial value. The number of units represented by the height of the thumb is passed in thumb size. The minimum and maximum values of the scroll bar are specified by min and max. If you construct a scroll bar by using one of the first two constructors, then you need to set its parameter by using setValues method shown here before it can be used. Void setValues int initial value, int thumb size, int min, int max. The parameters have the same meaning as they have in the third constructor just described. To obtain the current value of the scroll bar, call getValue. It returns the current setting. To set the current value, call setValue method. These methods are as follows: int void value, void set value, int new value. Here new value specifies the new value for the scroll bar. When you set a value, the slider box inside the scroll bar will be positioned to reflect the new line. You can also retrieve the maximum and minimum values via getMinimum method and getMaximum method shown here. Int getMinimum, int getMaximum. They return the requested quantity. By default, 1 is the incremental added to or subtract from the scroll bar each time it is scrolled up or down one line. You can change the increment by calling setUnitIncrement. By default, page up and page down increments are 10. You can change the value by calling setBlockIncrement. These methods are shown here. Void setUnitIncrement int new incr, void setBlockIncrement int new incr. Handling scroll bars. To process scroll bar events, you need to implement the adjustment listener interface. Each time a user interacts with the scroll bar, an adjustment event object is generated. Its getAdjustmentType method can be used to determine the type of the adjustment. The types of adjustment events are as follows: block decrement, a page down event has been generated. Block increment, a page up event has been generated. Track, an absolute tracking event has been generated. Unit decrement, the line down button in a scroll bar has been pressed. Unit increment, the line up button in a scroll bar has been pressed. The following example creates both a vertical and a horizontal scroll bar. The current setting of the scroll bars are displayed. If you are drag the mouse while inside the window, the coordinates of each drag events are used to update the scroll bars. An asterisk is displayed at the current drag position. Thanks for watching this video. If you found this video helpful and want more videos like this, then please let me know by click on like button and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.